My name's Shaquan, but a lot of people know me by my other name, Mad Skills. I'm an MC.
My name is Mad Skills. Paris, make some noise.
I'm a DJ.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a ghostwriter for some of your favorite rappers. I'm not about to tell you who, though. But most importantly, I'm a hip-hop enthusiast. HipHopConfessions is raw, unfiltered conversations with my friends revealing things that they didn't like, never knew about,
I don't know.
or never got into about hip-hop culture. So sit back,
Oh, come on, y'all.
turn up the volume,
Hip-hop.
and listen to HipHopConfessions. Because everybody's got one.
Here's a little story that must be told.
And it goes a little something like this.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This your boy Bad Skills, and we are back. This is my podcast, Hip Hop Confessions, man, where I bring in people, friends, associates, you know what I mean, brothers, sisters, anybody, man, involved in my life that might have something to say or an unpopular opinion or a story that's never been heard, and we call those Hip Hop Confessions. Right about now, I got one of my good friends. We go a good long ways back. She's a dope MC, a teacher, and now a DJ. She DJs now. She in her DJ bag. I'm so proud. You know, anytime a rapper start DJing and they do that shit right, I love that shit. You already know what it is. My homegirl in the building, Lyric Jones. What's up with you, love?
What's up, Skills?
How are you?
I'm good.
good?
I'm good. I'm high off. I just did Sway on Monday. So I'm
Sway in the
feeling good.
morning.
Sway in the morning.
Yeah, that's the homie, man.
yes. good
Nah, man,
people.
Sway's a good dude, man. I've been up there a few times, man. But you know, the first time was always a big deal. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah. This is actually my 5th time on the show.
Oh wow.
So,
Okay.
So it's like a home. It was like a homecoming for me on Monday. So it was a great energy in the room. We got to just kind of discuss the journey because they've really kind of seen it. Also,
Mhm.
so yeah, it's been a good week. Super Bowl week in LA. You know, people's in town,
Yeah.
events going on. So yeah, I'm doing good.
Yeah, LA starting to feel like it might be LA. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it's back.
you know
LA's back.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
Definitely.
So listen,
How you been?
Oh man, you know, listen.
Yeah, let's
same
wait.
shit,
How you
different air
been?
freshener. I'm good. And you know what? I appreciate that. Nobody ever
Yeah.
asked me how I'm doing. Not my producers. Not, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna put him on blast. Shout out to Tremaine, BJ, you know what I'm saying? Chris, the guys who hold me down on the hip hop confession side, man. I love you guys. I'm just teasing y'all, man. We just been working hard and making this podcast everything that we know it can be. But I appreciate you showing up today, man. You hopped off, you know what I mean? You got here, you on time. I love it.
Thank
You
you.
look
Yeah.
amazing. I
Well,
love
thank
it.
you.
So you just but before the Sway thing, you just coming off of a tour that you did. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, some show dates. You know us as hip hop artists. Every time there's 2 or more shows, we call it a tour.
Right, you got to.
It is what it is. If we go from one city to the next, we on tour. I don't care.
Listen, if I do a show in Van Nuys and a show in Studio City tomorrow night, I'm on tour, bro.
We on tour. Period.
We on tour. We out here. We out here.
So my
Yeah.
good friend Kevin Ross, incredible songwriter, Grammy nominated songwriter. He produces,
Yeah, I know
he
Kev.
sings. Amazing artist. We've known each other for a long time, dating back to our years at Berklee College of Music. And he
Mhm.
just hit me up and said, "Lyric, I got some show dates. Would you like to DJ for me and open for me?" And I said,
Wow.
yeah, I can do all the things.
Absolutely.
So
Right.
I had so much fun. I've been on a couple tours, but I've never been on something where I can really kind of show all that I can do in
Right.
one show. So very much love and shouts out to Kevin Ross. And the city showed us so much love. We did I think we did a good amount of cities, enough to call it. For Lyric Jones, it was a tour. For Kev, he was working it out. Some show dates. I was on tour because I hadn't been
You
out
was
in a
on
while.
tour.
I was on tour.
Yeah, man. This
yes.
pandemic had us all inside and trying to figure out how to still be creative and how to, maneuver through our careers and just our health and just so many other things. So I know because I haven't been back on the stage in that magnitude. I've DJ'd a couple things since
Yeah.
pandemic, and I've done the Art of Noises, but we've been doing this 9 years, and those are outside. So
Right.
everybody was safe. They were able to still social distance, but to be back on the stage in a venue, what I'm saying, in that regard, I know it was a big deal for you, man. Like, just to,
And
to have that, so we're super proud of you.
yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. And it's really weird when you're also putting out music during something
Hmm.
like this, like a pandemic. I had just recently put out my album Closer Than They Appear, and I wasn't able to work it. The
Right,
moment that it was hot, I wasn't really able to touch the people. So, it was
right.
a delayed push for with the tour, but it's still new to ears. Even with doing Sway on Monday, it's still new to people. So
Hmm.
I really needed that. I needed to just get back and shed and touch the mic and do my thing. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, man. I've always been one to tell people, listen, man, music is always new to somebody. It's
Always.
always gonna find new ears. You know what I'm saying? Like, my journey with music now is that, and a lot of people might, find this a little shocking, but I only listen to music that comes with a recommendation now, because it's so much music. You know
That's
what
a
I'm saying?
bar.
It's like
Yeah.
it's 50,000 songs that come out every day. So somebody that knows my taste has to go, yo, Skills, you need to listen to da 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 da. Like, this shit crazy. Like, you will
Facts.
fuck with this. Like, because otherwise I'll get frustrated and I'll
Right.
just be like, oh man, like, what are we doing? Where's the substance? Like, this and the third. Outside of close friends and then colleagues, I don't really, bro, like, if it don't come with a recommendation, I ain't got time. I don't have
I hear
time.
you. I'm the same way with shows too now, TV shows and movies. There's a lot of content in general
Yeah.
right now. And if somebody ain't picking up the phone going, Jones, you got to stop everything and watch this show right now.
Yo, you gonna love this.
That and who it's coming from, who says that always is the bar. So
Right.
you're
Right,
right.
man. Listen, our time is very precious, and that's the one thing that we can't get back. So when I wake up in the morning, man, like, my time, if you waste my time, I
We
feel
fighting.
away.
Man,
Yeah, like,
listen.
nowadays, because I'm like, I could have did so much other stuff, man. Time is so much more precious than it was when we was just little youngins running around, and we ain't care. I'm gonna ride my bike, I'm gonna go over to my friend's house, I'm gonna go to this party, I'm gonna go to the game. Now, I gotta line that shit up. You know
It
what I
need to be in
mean?
the schedule. We had leisure when we were kids. Remember that leisure time?
Yes. Yeah.
Leisure. What the fuck is that?
Yeah. Listen, it's
I
different
hear
now. I
you.
need naps and shit. Shit crazy. You know what I'm saying?
All
It
right,
just is what it
geriatric
is, man.
skills. You need
Hey,
naps
listen. I make it look good though. I make
all
it look
day,
good.
all day.
So listen, I have you on the show.
Oh boy.
I've ran it past you. I've seen you a couple times out in LA, and I'm like, yo, I gotta get you on the show. Like, I know you got something, and you was like, boy, do I? You know what I
Ugh.
mean? Like, so with that being said, um, I'm just gonna get straight to the shits.
Get to
Lyric
the smoke.
Jones, what is your hip hop confession?
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so my my hip hop confession has context because I don't want the OGs coming at me like I'm just
Okay,
trash. Okay,
right.
I was born in '88, so I'm a baby. My high school years was peak jiggy era, peak shining
Hmm.
suits. So my
Yeah.
reference points was the radio. It was Lil Bow Wow and B2K and Bad
Hmm.
Boy and all of that. So I didn't really get into the
Right.
underground vibes until I started really learning the essentials of hip hop. Shouts out to Radar Ellis, who, really taught me how to rhyme and 16 bars and delivery and
Hmm.
flow and all of those things. That came around
Right.
14, 15 years old for me. So we talking
Right.
early 2000s. All right.
Okay.
So I say all that
Y2K.
to say,
All
I'm
right.
from Boston, Mass. Originally, and my confession that I'm slightly ashamed of that I don't tell anybody is that I did not realize who Guru was. Every time people reference Guru, rest in peace, Guru, I always
Yes.
was thinking young Guru because I was such a Rockefeller head, like OD Rockefeller
Oh
head.
no, no.
So,
Are you serious?
man, I'm thinking, oh, young gurus from Boston, and I didn't know. I knew the songs. That's the thing. I knew the songs. I knew Mass Appeal, all that. But I'm thinking Gangstar is this. I'm not thinking Guru is the artist in Gangstar. I'm just thinking Gangstar is a person. I didn't know who Primo was, none of that. And I didn't know Primo as a nickname either. I just knew DJ Premier. So when people were just saying Primo saying this, in short phrases, I'm like, who's that? Oh, he rolls with the Guru guy? They're in what group? Like it was just too it was too many nicknames, too many spinoffs.
So the nicknames threw you off. Now, mind you, most, most people got little aliases, little side names. Jigga had Hove, JayZ, Young Hove, Jigga Man, you know what I mean? But he would say it so much that, in first person, we would understand what that was.
Exactly.
But it's not a lot of rappers from Boston that made a dent in the game, and they were definitely, they were and still is, like, their music still. Wow, you didn't know that Guru was
gang. I knew gangs.
Gifted Unlimited Rhymes Universal.
Man, people just don't understand the age
for Rockefeller. Yo,
Skills, you're judging, and I don't like it. You're
you from Boston. You
this
from
is why
the
I don't
bean.
say shit. This is why I don't tell nobody this shit. This is why I don't tell. This is why this is a confession just to
and
you.
Not only did you think that Young Guru. No, I have to. It's turning. Not only did you think that Young Guru was in fact Guru, you did not know that Primo and DJ Premier was the same person?
Not until, and I'll tell you when. I was still in high school, so it was about right before I graduated high school to college, so 2005, going into 2006. I'm not exactly sure when Guru passed specifically. Part of me feels like it was 08, 07, no, 09. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I just knew the names and I knew the records. I just wasn't piecing together, this is the person who sings this. And there's still a lot of things that I hear that I'm blown away by. Like, I didn't realize Lil Freak's Lil Vicious. What
about him?
I didn't know that he was a kid, and I didn't know Dougie Fresh was beatboxing on that. I thought it was a girl.
I'm out, fam. We good.
I didn't know. I thought it was a girl.
You mean to tell me all you hear in the song is what did you think that
Skills,
was?
I'm like 20 years younger than you. Can you give me a break?
No, I can't.
I know it now, right?
So you thought
that's
Gangstar
why
was
each one teach one.
So you literally thought Gangstar was a person.
I thought Gangstar was a person. I did not know it was a duo until around the time I graduated high school. I did not grow up knowing who Guru was, Primo was, Premier. I just didn't know because my ears were the radio all the time. Like in Boston, it was Dipset, Rockefeller, all of that.
It's their era at that point.
Yeah, at that time, it was just all 106 and Park world for me. And then being in my preteens, forget about it. It was boy bands and, you know what I'm saying? Like I had to learn all those things after the fact. That's why I'm such a student and why I started teaching. Because when I started connecting the dots and realizing, wow, I knew this, but I didn't connect the dots. I'm really big on connecting the dots as an educator now. Because all this stuff just sounds silly to me that I didn't know because it's,
it is.
I have cuts. Primo cut me on the latest Gangstar album. Like I'm a part of this, So I just couldn't believe that I didn't know this. I
need to know who in Boston failed you.
Yeah,
like who?
We might have to get on Radar.
Listen, Radar, my man.
We might have to get on Dar.
We're talking about We are talking about one of the greatest duos,
The
MC,
greatest.
DJ tag teams in hip hop.
The greatest.
They made nothing but hip hop. Like everything they made from the time that they started to the time that God bless the dead Guru passed away. He passed away in 2010. To the time that they passed away, it's unapologetic hip hop music. It's the core.
Oh, I know.
Guru's
But at least
voice.
I wasn't running around in my 20s not knowing this. I still was a teen. I could say teen in my years when I didn't know. 18, 19. So
Guru
I'll
has
say
one of the
that.
most recognizable. Guru has one of the
He
most
does.
recognizable voices in hip hop.
Absolutely.
Nobody
Listen, I
sounded
know.
like Guru before or after him. Wow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I just
And you
wasn't
did, and you
connecting the
thought,
dots.
and you thought Lil Vicious was
Skills.
rapping over SP 1200. Like, yo, you are out of pocket.
This
That
is why
a
you brought
man.
me
That
on
is
this show.
Dougie.
This why you did this to shame me.
Yes.
Shame. Shame. Walk and shame me right now.
It's
I mean,
but you
I
know
feel
what?
it.
It's not the worst hip hop confession. We do have one that still stands tall.
Uh-oh.
That is probably one of the worst ones I've ever heard, because I didn't understand how anybody could make this connection or not make this connection. Shout out to my man. He DJs for Pusha T. He's a popular DJ in Virginia. DJ Rick G's. DJ Rick G's. He did not know that Shock G and Humpty Hump was the same person, and
I don't
was
think I knew
willing
that
to
either.
admit it on camera. What?
I didn't know that till years later either. Like, again, until I became a student of hip hop and started like becoming an MC, I didn't know none of this stuff. Radar had to teach me who Dilla was, Slum V, all of that. Like I'm 14, 15 years old. I'm listening to, just nothing but The Rock at that time. It was just nothing but Hove, Freeway, Beans.
But that's like that's almost like you telling me, hey Skills, I didn't know that Puff Daddy and Diddy was the same person.
No, because
that's
I
how
came
clear
up
and concise.
because I came up with like if you're a decade or so older than me, there's no way that somebody can have that confession and not be shamed, because you literally came up in the era where they was at their peak. I didn't.
Right.
I came up, and while I was in high school, it was in the 2000s. You know, records were coming out, but it wasn't getting to me, a teenager. And that's why, like I was telling you earlier, that's why I'm so big on hip hop education, because that piece was missing for me in high school. It was just the radio became the shiny suit Jiggy era, which I loved. I mean, that's what molded a portion of Lyric Jones. But I was all R&B, neo soul. Like, I wasn't even really rapping. Was the last part of my arsenal. That's another confession. The rap part was the last piece. I started singing first. Actually, I started playing bass. Started singing, playing bass, and drums. Rapping was the very last thing. Like, really becoming a hip hop artist was the very last thing. I was a whole gospel R&B head first. So I didn't know half the people, half my peer group. I didn't come up listening to you, Skills. Unfortunately. I knew you was a dope DJ.
Okay. Do you know?
But yeah.
Do you know? Can you tell me where Ed OG and the Bulldogs are from?
Yes, I know Ed OG is from Boston. That's a good friend of mine. Shouts out to Edo.
All right, stop right there. Stop right there. Do you know where Benzino is from?
I do. I definitely know where Benzino is from.
Okay. Do you know
7L Esoteric? It's from Boston.
Do you know where New Edition is from?
Can we not do this?
I'm just asking. I'm asking.
No, because this is shade.
Question.
This is shade.
Listen, it's a method to my madness. I only got one more. Do you know where New Edition is from?
They're actually specifically from Roxbury. So yes, they're from Boston.
Okay. Do you know where New Kids on the Block are from?
Yes, Southie. They're from Boston.
And that was way before your time, but they were huge, right? And this is what I'm trying to listen to the mechanics of what I'm breaking down. Ed OG, Benzino, who else did I name? New Kids on the Block and New Edition, right? All
Mm-hmm.
different artists. Ed O.G. was probably, an artist, had success in his realm.
Shouts out to Edo.
There
Love you.
were no. Yes, shout to Edo. Like, still one of my favorite records to this day, Be a Father to Your Child. Love what he did. But there is no rap duo from Boston that is bigger than Gangstar in 2022.
Not at all. Nope. You are
Like, they
absolutely correct.
have staked that claim. And here's the thing. It's almost like me asking a kid, let's say I run into a kid that's 30 and he from Virginia, and I'm like, I don't know who you was. I wasn't around when you was doing your thing, Mr. Mad Skills. I heard you did your thing. I know I heard the Year End song, but I don't know who you are. And I'm like, all right, cool. Have you ever heard of Chad and Pharrell? And he goes, absolutely. Like, it's certain people that they were just so big, it was hard to miss them, especially when you coming from a small town. It's hard to miss Missy and Timbaland. I don't care.
Right.
You could be 9 years old right now, and you still might know who the Neptunes are. Maybe not me, maybe not the Clips, but you saw Missy at the Super Bowl with Katy Perry a few years ago when you were 16. Like, you couldn't have missed that. There is no rap duo in Boston that was bigger than Gangstar.
These are
That's
actual
just
facts.
crazy to me.
These are actual facts. So as a teenager, Boston failed me. And I think because my head was so in the ground with jazz and art and being a jazz musician, like I was just so deep into that I didn't really know who locally, the artists that I knew locally in Boston that were around the same time I was coming up was Mo Pope and Project Move, Acrobatics, and M. Dot. That's because I would see them at shows. We were doing shows together and doing things together, you know? Legendary wise, I knew who Gangstar was, but I just didn't know the names. I just knew Gangstar, the group Gangstar, Boston, right? These are the songs that you should know. I knew Mass Pill. I knew, you know what I'm saying? I didn't associate when everybody would just say Guru as a singular entity. My mind went to Young Guru. Like that was just until
not to no way you'll never make it. Come with the weak shit, I fake it. Mad rhymes will stifle ya. Oh man, listen, his voice and his flow, man. And don't get me wrong,
he's one of the best.
Confusion.
No, he's one of the best. And once I found that out, it was because let me just say this, because being from Boston, and shouts out to Dart Adams. Being from Boston and being like so into the history now of hip hop and finding out that voice, because my ear is what leads me most of all. Like I know what a lot of people sound like before I knew what they did because of just what I heard, right? So I always knew this voice because I heard him on soundtracks and I heard the records. I always just knew this voice and was always moved by it because of the jazz samples and just learning this. So that's why I loved platforms like, Drink Champs and like stuff like this, because every time I would watch something, a documentary or sit at a panel, go to a festival or whatever, dots would connect and I'd just be like, oh, like the dude from The Wire, that was just like,
right,
like, Weebay. Like that's who, And so to me, that's still beautiful to still be learning things at that time, because I know this stuff now, but just to still be learning things about hip hop that I should have known, it makes it not old for me. Like I'm still just discovering and peeling onion layers back of things that I knew or people that I knew. Like I'll be 1 degree of separation from all of that. Meeting Primo is like that's I've been on his show now. I've been sampled by him now, and just now that's not a peer, but somebody that is tangible. But before it was just somebody that I was just listening to and didn't really connect the dots yet. Hearing all the history, I'm still learning new things about what Primo has done and things that he's produced. I'm still learning new things and people that Guru has worked with and Boston stories. Like to me, I'm actually proud that I'm just still learning about stuff a little bit, that I can't just sit back and go, oh, I know everything, like everything I know.
Right. I get you.
So, but yeah, that's my
when I think about I get it, and I can understand a little bit of the confusion because there's really only two dudes in hip hop that ever really had the name that I know of Guru. One was, Guru, of course, the one that we knew first from Gangstar, and
Right.
Young Guru, who's the engineer, good friend of the show, for Rockefeller, excuse me. So Guru even knew that he had to, if he was gonna be called Guru, he had to put a young in front of his shit
Right.
because he couldn't have been. He had to be Guru B or DJ Guru or Guru the engineer. Something he knew he could not just have that name by itself. You know what I'm saying? It's the
Right.
same thing with kind of the same thing with Ti and Tip and Q-Tip. You know what I'm saying? Ti knew he was already on the label where a guy had the name Q-Tip, so he was like, I can't
Mhm.
be Tip. You know what I'm saying? We just gonna shorten it and make it Ti. Speaking of Premiere, I believe, I think you said he cut you up and sampled you. I believe I think Guru, I mean, my fault, Premiere cut me up 3 times.
Dope.
Cut up my voice 3 times. One is he had a song with this girl from named Paula Perry that I used to be friends with. She had a record. He cut me up in that hook. He cut me up in a J. Rule song
Okay.
where I said, "Ain't no fiends coming in between me and my dreams." See what I mean? Black. I forgot the name of the song, and he cut me up in the song that Common had a song called "The Game." That Kanye produced, and he cut me up when I was on Rockets. He cut me up scratching I never come lame type killing
Raucous.
in the game. Yeah, that was me. So yeah, I think Primo got me like 3 times in three
Dope.
different joints. Which is, a badge of honor in hip hop to have Primo
Absolutely.
cut your voice.
I mean, I didn't
Listen,
even
man.
know. Somebody actually hit me up, um, who heard the album before I got to it, and it was like, "Yo, that's your voice, Lyric." It was the song that Talib Kweli's on the latest Gangstar album. It'll come to me
Oh
the
wow.
more we talk, but it was like in the hook. But it was a cut from Ski Mask Way, with me and Rod Digga. He cut that
Mm-hmm.
up. I think he actually cut Digga as well on one of Armani Caesar's record. The young lady that's rolling with West Side Gun and them. So I'm
Oh
like,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I forgot I just sent the acapellas out. I think I sent it to DJ Clips, and that's how he got them, I believe. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
listen, it's just hard to believe now because I'm so in the mix, and I know all these. I know more legends and OGs than my own peer group. So it's just hilarious to even utter some of these things out loud because it's like,
Right,
how
right,
did I
right.
not know this? But because I circle myself around so many elders in hip hop, that's why I know all these things now, and I can teach it now, and I can educate people now. So, yep, that was crazy. I'm hearing Guru all over the place, and I'm just because I'm so rocked out. I'm just a Rockefeller head. I swear I was the first lady of Rockefeller in 2001. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna get signed to this shit. Hell yeah! Like, and every time
That
I
was
heard
the
the
goal.
man, but I just knew Gangstar. I just didn't know Guru, Gangstar, Primo is DJ Premier. It was crazy. Wow, you should have seen my face
Right.
when I found all that out.
I could Weebay in the wire, like, yo.
Are you He's from where? And that's the same person that said.
Right. Yeah, I don't know anybody
Mm.
that thought Gangstar was one person. Yeah, because
There's
from the
people.
first time I saw them, it was, lyrics I manifest. So the first time I saw them, Guru's in the front and Premier was always in the back with the records cut like you knew that was in the era of MC DJ, Jazzy Jeff Fresh Prince. You know what I'm saying? It was one guy that did the rhyme and one guy that did the cutting. So I always knew that from jump.
So, as a teacher, sorry, I'm taking over your interview, but I have a question.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
As a teacher, has anything blown you away of what students don't know that's current day? Like, that's blown me away. Like, I've asked students if they knew who JayZ was, and they said no, but they knew who Beyonce was. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
oh no,
saying?
I've totally had that discussion with a few people that in some parts of the world, Jay-Z is strictly known as Beyonce's husband.
Husband.
Like they don't know Reasonable Doubt.
Wow.
Like They don't know in my lifetime. They don't know that JayZ. You know
at
what I'm saying? It's
all.
like, oh, that's oh yeah, Beyonce's husband. He's a rapper. You know what I mean? It's like, damn, like, you know what I'm
And
saying?
that
But
blows you
it's for
away.
us because we're so engulfed in this culture. But even when I teach class and we teach school, I have to go in thinking that nobody in this room knows anything that I'm talking about. So therefore, I got to start at the
The
genesis.
top. Right. Exactly.
Because I can't go, no, because when Grandmaster Flash and Melly Mel had made the message, and then after that, and they go, well, who is that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can't. So we have to start it's like baby steps. We got to take baby steps in class.
Yes.
You really feel like you're teaching kids, even though you're not, but you feel like you're teaching babies
Yep.
because they don't know everything. And for us, we're so engulfed in this culture, and it means so much to us. Certain things are just blasphemy. We're like, what you mean you don't know what? How you don't know
Right.
that? Da, 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 da. And that's why we get so embarrassed sometimes to admit some of the things that we don't know, because
Exactly.
I should know that. I know I should know that.
I should have been running around Boston blasting Guru. Like I always say I was born a decade too late.
Yep.
I always like
Yeah.
my soul is like all my friends are 10 years older than me. So and it's because of this hip hop journey. It's because of this thing we call hip hop. So I always say that. I was just born if it was 78, 79, I would have been right on the money.
Listen, it'd
I
have
would
been
have
a
been peers
different
with
Lyric
everybody.
Jones,
Oh
man. Listen,
man.
you'd have been like, this the homie. We came up together. This the
Came
homie.
up, I would have the stories to share instead of hearing the story.
Right. Right.
But I
Yeah.
have some of my
But
own
listen,
stories.
yeah, you do.
So yeah.
You definitely
Yeah.
do, man. Wow. Lyric Jones is from Boston, y'all, and had no clue that Guru wasn't Young Guru and Primo was Premier.
Primo gonna
Wow.
never answer my calls ever again.
Listen, Preem, we love you,
Ever
man.
again. Ever again.
We love
But
you, man.
I was
Just
a
in case you
teenager.
hear this,
I was a
Preem, we
kid,
love
yo.
you. Yeah, I would have gave you a pass if you was anywhere but from Boston. Cause it won't too many people from Boston that was repping Beantown like that. Like,
I mean, I'm sure there's
and
people who don't know me, don't know I'm from Boston. Like I'm gonna have that story with
I
people as
never
well.
knew. I
There you
never knew.
go.
When we crossed paths, it was in LA. You know what I'm saying? But I knew you wasn't from LA. I
Right.
knew you was from the East Coast. I just didn't know where. You got an East Coast vibe, of a family vibe about you. I knew you was from, I might have thought Jersey or something like that, but I knew it wasn't New York, but I knew you weren't from LA.
Right. I mean, my journey, I had a whole chapter in Atlanta. So there's people who think I'm from Atlanta. And then Boston, that's where I got my start. That's where I was baby Jonesy, my first shows and
Right.
everything. So, and then there's a whole LA chapter. So when you live a
Right.
lot of life, sometimes people miss and connect the dots. So that's how
Yeah.
I kind of, I look at it the same way with the information I may have missed when I was 12,
Right.
13.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
I
a
was Harlem
blessing to
shaking.
be. Hey, I can't do it no more. I'm too old for that shit.
That's what I was doing those
But nah,
years.
man, listen. Well, I appreciate you being brave enough to even
Ugh.
admit that. Because before we got on, I didn't know what your confession was. And I was like, all right, Lyric, what you got? And then you hit me with that. And I'm like, you was like, the skills, I don't know. And I'm like, oh, no, we talking about that shit. That's the one. That's the hip hop confession I want, because that's what this show is about, man. Like, we
Right.
weren't up on everything. We don't know
Weren't.
everything. Some things got past us. Like
Mhm.
for you, it was Gangstar. For me, it was Outkast albums. Like but I get so much flack for that because it was in my era. Like I
Right.
came out in 96. So they like, how the fuck Skills? And I'm like, man, listen, I was heavily East Coast, Nas, Biggie, J. Rue, Gangstar. You know what I mean? But it was what it was, man.
Same with West Coast. Like there was a lot of people I had to learn when I moved out here as well. And now it's like it's a no-brainer to me now, but I didn't know them coming up. Shouts out to
Right.
Razzcast, even Planet Asia, people
Yeah.
I've done music with. I didn't
Yeah, the
I didn't
homies.
know them. these are homies.
How
These are
long?
people
How
I have
long you?
shows with
How
and
long?
everything.
How long you been? How long you been in LA?
I've been here a decade. 10 years in May will mark my
Okay.
LA journey. It'll be
Journey.
2012, May 2012 until now. So
Got
yep.
you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, listen, man, I want to thank you for, like I said, for being brave enough to say that. I want to thank you for pulling up on the show. I know I've been trying to get you on here for a minute, but yeah, your confession was well worth the wait.
Word. Damn. I'm
Yeah.
gonna get clowns.
And I'll keep you posted. I will keep you posted of people that might have confessions that are a little more worse than yours. But it ain't too many.
I don't think mine's is that bad once people do the math on how old I was. I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah, well, no, it's still bad. No, we good. We don't care how old you was, Lyric. We don't care. Well, listen, man.
Okay.
I want to thank you for coming. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you. Before we
course.
get out of here, let people know where they can get you at. What's your socials? How they can connect with you for sure. We need that info.
Yes. Everywhere at Lyric Jones. No K's or Z's or weird spelling, just LYRICJONES. That's on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or if you want to see all things Lyric, you can go to my website, thelyricjones.com. And cop the album Closer Than They Appear.
Yes, Closer Than They Appear. Dope album, man. Listen, I love you. Thank you so much for doing this and being brave enough, man. And I'll see you in the streets, man. I love you, Lyric. You already know what it is.
Love you too, man. Hit me when you're back in the West.
Will do. Hey, yo, this has been Hip Hop Confessions, because everybody got one.
Here's a little story that must be told.
And it goes a little something like this.